It's Rick Passek, the FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today I'm coming to you from Manzanillo, Mexico, down here for the month of March, and then move on to other parts of Mexico, just in front of our little pool here at the condo complex that we're renting a place off for the month. Today it's a play day. I want especially the new guys to learn how to come up with the new patterns and stuff. So this is not so much finding a new pattern now is almost impossible. So it's twists on other patterns, and that's basically what this is. It's kind of a bunny leech kind of thing with whatever. So I've already tied it, but as I went through it, I made it. I made up with it. I came up with it as I went through it. So you'll see that live on the video. This one take, I just went and played, right? So and I kind of changed the way I was going to go. About 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, yeah, no, I don't want to put that material in. I don't think it'll look good, and so on. So I just wanted to share with you what goes through my head when I'm trying to come up with new patterns. This just happens to be one for bull trout, or even big Gerards and stuff will go after this. So alrighty, hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's get tying. Hello everyone. So come along with me on how I design a fly, if you want to call it that. I just got a rough idea in my head of what I'd like. Might turn out like crap, might turn out good. I don't know. We'll find out. So I'm going to start off with a Ahrex TP610 Trout Predator in a size 1/0. So this is going to be a bull trout fly, I think. Going to use a dumbbell eye. Going to use some of the H&H barred rabbit strip in yellow. Going to use some of the Semperfli Flex chenille. Going to use some of the Semperfli silly legs. And then probably some yellow teal flank and black ringneck pheasant rump. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, this is how I work through the progression of coming up with new flies. I just get some materials that I think look good together and come up with an idea in my head and just go. So now, not saying that this won't end up being something that's very similar to something else. I don't know. We'll find out. But this is what goes. I said, it's what goes through my head when I do this. So. That's not a good thing all the time, but we'll see. So obviously if I put it here, it's going to ride upside down. If I put it down here, it'll ride right side up. But the way I want the zonker to lay, I want it to lay like this. So if I put it on the bottom side, the zonker will lay like this. So either I have to have the zonker down below, right? Because I want it riding that way. Or I have to put the eye on the bottom side, right? So let us put the eye on the bottom side. See if I can get this to go. My fingers, I partially sliced the front end of my finger off. So let's see if that'll impede it or not. So let's see. I want it back a bit. Couple 3 turns that way, 3 turns this way. Now, the only bad thing with doing it this way is that the hook will be riding face hook side down, sharp side down, which could end up being a problem because it may get dull or hooked up, right? So you kind of gotta remember that, right? That the possibility of it getting hooked up is greater this way. So okay. So now I'm going to take my zonker, and I'd like it quite long. So 1, 2 times the length of the hook. And I come back I'm going to separate my zonker, get the hairs out of the way, right? So you don't trap it, all of them. I mean, you're going to trap some. There's no way you can get around that. Just crank that down. Now you want to use a good thread here. So I'm just going to roughly, I know it's going to be at least that much that I need. I just want to get some of this stuff out of the way. And when you're cutting zonker, don't cut right through it. Just cut through just the leather, just through the skin. Okay. Again, just lick the material a little bit, just to keep it clean. Yeah, so you want to use a good thread. This is nano silk, so I can crank on this pretty good. I think this is actually 12-aught. Yeah, 12-aught, but I can crank pretty harsh on it. So just want to make sure that that doesn't spin on you. And I'll go behind that tail and pull forward a bit. Behind that tail and pull forward a bit. This is just the basics of what you should do, right? So now I want to keep that out of the way. So I'm just going to fold this back and see if that magnet will hold it. It might, yep, it will. Okay. So now I just have to figure out the next step. I think I'm going to add a set of silly legs at the back. And some more silly legs as I go. This is one of the new colors. No, sorry, this isn't one of the new colors. They just came out with new colors in January of 2024. They're all really holographic. Sorry, glow in the dark, not holographic. Wrong word. But this stuff shines pretty good too. Look there. Itchy nose. So, just going to grab a couple. Cut them off. Like I said, no idea what I'm doing. Just wanted to show you guys the progression of how I come up with stuff, right? So that's about the halfway point right there. So I'm just going to tie in to the, keep them on my side of the hook. Right, and then I'm going to take this and flip it over to your side of the hook. See how that is lengthwise. These are a little longer, so I'll just give them a rough trim. Just, again, rough. Nothing in nature is exact, so. Okay, so keep those back. Now, what I normally do is I'll take a little hair clip, and I'll just take all this stuff, and I'll just, boom, out of the way. I don't have to worry about the magnet. Okay. Now, I want to keep this fairly standard here with color-wise, so I'm going to go with a color that's, you know, going to be complementary or opposite, right? And in this case, I'm going to go complementary to that yellow. So I'm using this. This is the new Flex chenille from Semperfli. It's 15 mil. Excellent stuff for blobs, but just showing that it can be used for other stuff, right? You know how certain materials get pigeonholed into, oh yeah, that's all it can be used for? Well, no. Got to think outside the box sometimes, right? So let's just bring that forward to about there. I'm just making sure I stroke the material back every time I come around. There we go. One. That's good enough for now. Tie that off. Hold that back. Again, it doesn't have to be the prettiest, especially when you're experimenting. It does not have to be the prettiest. Another set of legs. This time, let's see, I might end up just putting one leg down each side, just because I want length. And folding them over doesn't give me enough, so I want that to come almost to the back of the zonker there. So let's put that on this side, not like that. And you can cut that off, or you can actually leave it back if you want. But then same, about the length. Make sure that stays on your side of the hook. Cut that off. Let go of that because I want my chenille back, but all this other stuff I can put back again. Okay, now I'll move forward to right behind the eye. The eyes, not eye. And one more. Nice and tight there. Get in there and just tie that off. Okay. Nip that off. And I think I'm going to add one more set of legs in here. Lots of movement. Bull trout really like movement, so they like things that breathe and move and stuff. Now, one thing I have to say, I am not the hugest fan of zonker materials in the first place because I find that it gets really heavy when it's wet, right? And then you've got to do 2 or 3 false casts just to get enough of the water out so you can actually cast it, right? So companies like Semperfly and others have come out with some really cool alternatives for bucktail. For zonker strips. They're synthetic and they don't retain the water, right? So you one false cast, boom, it's gone, which is cool. But that I've found, they haven't come out with enough colors yet. So, okay. So now I can add in I think I'm just going to go with black. I don't think I'm going to put in that white, the yellow teal. I think I'm just going to go with one feather out of here. Yeah, let's see. So one nice, fairly long feather. Strip off all the underfluff. You never want that in your fly. Well, not never. I won't say that because sometimes you do. I'll tie this one in by the tip. I'm just going to separate that out. So I got the tip separated. Have that in front of the eyes. Well tied in. So obviously it helps if you've been tying for a while, you kind of have an idea of what works and what doesn't work together. But sometimes I go completely squirrely and just do whatever the heck I feel like doing. And often it's, oh yeah, that did not turn out well, right? It just happens. What do? I just take my razor, I cut off all the material, because the material is usually fairly cheap. Cut off all the material off of the hook and try it again, right? So it's all part of the learning process and the inventing process, right? Coming up with new stuff. So and just so you guys are all aware, I've never tied this or anything even close to this. So like I said, experiment, totally. And I might actually, now I'm looking at it, I might actually change the color pattern in this into might go with a more silvery or pink, and for tropical, might work really well here for tropical fish. So see. So now that that's all there, I'm going to just pull my piece of zonker. There. I'm going to move this black stuff out of the way a little bit, try to spread that out of the way. And then I'm going to find roughly where the front is of where I want my zonker to lay. Nice and tight. Get this cut off, and then I'm going to make a nice predominant head here. It just helps hold that zonker. The zonker stuff can have a tendency of loosening off. So now I'm just going to get all this stuff, just put it all up top, get it out of the way. Okay, make sure all my stuff is trailing back. Builds up a nice head here. Might end up trying to cut some of that zonker. We'll see. I think I might have come just a tad close, crowded the head just a little bit, but we'll see. Now, if I want to be consistent, I can also make a yellowy or green head here, right? So grab the right thread, but actually I don't mind it with the black head. Kind of goes with the black hackle, right? So, and I did crowd that head just a little bit, but still get my line through it, so I'm not too concerned, but could have stayed back just another, half a millimeter. And for those of you that don't use metric, Americans, that's the better system. I'm kidding, guys. So, that is my final fly. I will put some UV resin on that, but I think that actually turned out not bad. So let me just brush this all out, just make sure everything is out. Now, actually, these little black things on the bottom here are kind of irritating, so I'm going to pull them out. I like it on the slick on the side. But yeah, there we go. Now, I could have used some black legs, maybe black with yellow barring instead of yellow with black barring. Might have stood out a little bit better. But I think that actually turned out not bad at all. And those legs will give it lots and lots of movement, right? I think this would actually, in a smaller, slightly smaller, actually even in this size, would do well for bass. So now, if you're finding that you're getting false hits, like just whacked, just go in there and just cut. Just go in and just cut the leather part only. Here, I'll just shorten this just a little bit. Just the leather, right? Because that will still leave the long hairs on the end, right? If you cut straight through, you'll cut that and it doesn't look right, right? Because it looks straight. So, yeah. Thanks for joining me on a like I said, a little bit out of an experiment. I don't know what I'll call it. Yeah, maybe I'll call it the Tweety Bird. Just because it's all yellow, right? But yeah, that's it. That's how I go about designing a new pattern for me. It obviously is based on other patterns that I've seen and stuff, and I just go, oh, that might look good, or oh, that might look good, and you try things and you go, yeah, no, that didn't work. And just cut it off. Not a big deal. Material is not that expensive considering you get so much. I mean, yeah, this was $15, but I mean, I can do 50 or 60 flies with this. So if I end up cutting one piece off, not a huge deal, right? So, okay. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, thanks for joining me on a little experimental stage here, and we'll see you guys in the next tying video. Tie lines, everyone.